This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. That's right. We got my partner in crime, Mr. Kevin Carr. He should be coming in shortly. But in the meantime, in between time, it's just me and you and my partners and the cousins too.
Hi, Joelle.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Before we you start talking, madam, because I got to do my introduction for you. But we're gonna touch bases on what's happening in the world of sports and entertainment, and in the world of music. We have folks just dropping records, selling records. Um, the spins, the streams are going off the chain. In addition to that, there's a little bit of an outrage going on for folks in the industry about a move just recently made between um, William Morris, the Endeavor Agency, in hiring two non-white, two non-black people to run a hip hop and black division. What is going on?
Crazy.
So, there's a lot of backlash with that. However, just recently in the news, on a good note, um, there's a gentleman that just did a partnership deal with Irving Azoff to run a record label and publishing company. And let me get him. Oops, oopsie doopsie. And then let's kind of talk about a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports. Um, Big shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers once again, making it to the Super Bowl. The festivities are going on. And speaking of festivities, I got to give a huge shout out to my man, Santiago Corrada, who's been involved with Tampa Bay for almost, I would say, 18 plus years, handling all the festivities, the NFL experience for the several Super Bowls that's been hosted here in Tampa. And he's just doing a wonderful job. So, come out to the Riverwalk and check out what we have going on here in Tampa Bay. Of course, I'm going to need to definitely give a big shout out to Mr. Ray McGuire. He had something going on with a debate this past Sunday. Someone was shooting darts at him, but he was able to dodge those bullets and actually come back stronger than ever. Just expressing where his point of view is and his plan. And as a matter of fact, go check out Ray for Mayor, as you can see from my background. Ray for Mayor at www.rayformayor.com/comeback, because he's all about going big, going small, and going forward. So if you want more information on that and the 500,000 jobs he plans on implementing within his 2 years of office, go check it out. And without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about our guest, because we talking a little bit about New York City and what's going on with the the seriousness and what's going on in terms of it being desolate here in New York. So hold on one second. Got too many screens going on. Gotta love technology. You could bounce around from one thing to the next. And this lady right here that we have today on our show, she's been entertaining and providing exquisite culinary treats. I mean, her treats are so desire that is it's better than, of course, M&Ms. It doesn't melt in your mouth. It provides an experience in your mouth. So, as a beautiful chef, she is known for specializing in multi-sensory food experiences. So, where do you get that when you can eat something and your whole entire body just gets all into it? And she has mastered the art of elevating everyday food into a high-level cuisine. Her keen ability to design masterful menus, coupled with an expertise in an artful plate design, has made her into the sought after chef and culinary powerhouse that she has become. Her love is tasted in every earthy yet refined dish she creates as she marries together spices and herbs that make the palate sing. Ah!
Can't take
Her
it.
extensive celebrity clientele includes the likes of David Foster, the guy that produced, well, some people don't know, but he produced, Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. Um,
Yes.
she's worked with Cardi B, John Travolta, you know Martha Stewart hanging out with Snoop, MTV, Universal Motown, Maxim Magazine, Ralph Lauren, Michael Strahan. I mean, just Christian Dior, Escada. I mean, gosh.
Don't forget Wendy Williams. I did her 40th birthday party. Don't forget Wendy. She's hot right now.
Okay. Wendy Williams, and she just had the movie come out. Oh, and speaking of movies, Lifetime movies, I love you girls, but I gotta call a spade a spade. It is wrong what y'all did in deleting Spinderella.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for honoring that. That is truth. 100%
because
agree.
because when it down to hip hop includes all the elements, not
Right.
just the hip hop artist. So I might get some backlash for this because I know some people's, but I gotta call a spade a spade. I love y'all, but we gotta include spin. We gotta include spin. So anyway, with that being said, you gotta follow Nadia's Spice Kitchen, and our guest today is Nadia in the place to be. I'm not even going to say day. I'm just going to say Nadia. Like that. You got Iman. You got Nadia when it comes down to food. What's going
What an introduction. Thank you. Seriously, what
you
an introduction. Thank you for having
you
me.
are well, it is my for you kind of be here with us and entertain. Kind of share your expertise because here at Power Moves, where celebrities, influential executives make money, how they attract, earn respect. It's all about you know these and seeing how we can help our audience do what they do best. Like I'm gonna technical
Mic check, one, two, one, two.
check one two. We're gonna have to go to the default right now. Bear with me. All right. So, producer, are we good now? There we go. That's what I like to see. There we go. All right. So Nadia, we just had a huge snowstorm, a nor'easter in NYC. Could you show us a little bit of snow? Nah, don't worry about
Oh my God.
that. we down here, we down here in Florida, and I'm loving life right now. I
Show
mean, it
off.
looks pretty. The Instagram pictures look real pretty.
As of
I'm wrong,
yesterday,
right?
today it's dirty and slushy and not so pretty.
Yeah. It's always the day
Nasty,
after. It's
nasty.
not so pretty.
No, not at
So
all.
so how are you doing, and how's your family, especially with COVID and things of that nature? Tell us what's going on.
I'm doing very well. Family, thank God, is blessed. Unfortunately, my little brother did get COVID, and he's recuperating as we
Ooh,
speak. He's 31, young, healthy. He'll be fine.
he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Now I understand that you created something tonight, perfect for this type of weather.
I did.
Yeah,
I
tell
made
us a little bit about that.
I made slow chicken soup. It's a mashup of Jamaican chicken soup and sancocho, so Dominican chicken soup, and then, good old American chicken soup. It's a mashup. It was
Mm.
delicious. 3.5 hours
Oh
in
my.
the making. Sorry you're not
Ooh.
here.
Yeah, I'm definitely envious. I know our other friend in the background is hiding, slurping up some soup right now,
Yes, he
Mr.
is.
Mr. Derek Corley. Oh, so so kind of tell us, how did you know get started, and how did you turn what you love into making money?
hmm So, I was corporate, and on the executive side of cosmetics, which is a creative entity, but handled the business side of it. Are you with me? I don't know what's happening.
Go ahead, keep going.
Um, and about 4.5, 5 years into it, I realized, you know what? I'm not happy. I'm good at this, but I'm not happy. It doesn't make my heart sing. And the compensation wasn't good enough, if that made any sense. Like, it seemed that no matter how far I got upon the corporate ladder, there was still something missing. And thankfully, I learned that at a very young age. So I stopped and factored in, what is it that I love to do? And the two things I came up with is music and food and cooking. Those are the two things that on my downtime, I entertained myself with. And
Hmm.
so because I'm more of a behind the scenes girl or behind the scenes woman, I chose cooking. It's something that I felt would nourish every part of me. I can serve people by feeding them. I fell in love with watching. My grandmother was an amazing cook, but she was even more amazing at imbibing food. Whatever she put in her mouth, I wanted to eat. She had this way of eating that entranced me. And so I remembered that when I started having dinner parties. And that's something that I started to do for fun on weekends for my friends. And I would just enjoy standing back in the kitchen watching them eat and enjoy my food. And so there started my cooking exploits. I spoke to Derek. He was at one of our dinner parties. We were actually going to one of his parties after my dinner party, and he was taken aback by the fact that everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing! I don't even want to have cocktails now because your food is." Still stuck in my mouth. And Derek, of course, seeing dollar signs, was like, "Yo, you think you can do a menu?" Derek Corley.
That's right. That's right. So what's interesting then, Nadia, is I think what I like about what you said is that you weren't fulfilled, and compensation. We have about 1 minute before we go on break, but can you kind of share with us, what do you mean by compensation and being fulfilled in what you do?
Well, for me, I had found success business wise. And again, at a very young age, I had also found success in what people would deem the love department with the caliber of men that I was dating. And I would say that there was a night that came, my aunt, she's now gone, but I called her, she's a minister. And I was sitting in the center of my 1,000 square foot loft apartment that I had on my own, right? And with all the beautiful accoutrements that come along with it. And I called her crying. And she said, "What's wrong, honey?" And I said, "I'm not happy. Like, I have everything this world says you are supposed to have, yet I'm unfulfilled inside."
Pause right there. Unfulfilled inside. We're gonna go on break on that note, but once again, this is Power Moves on In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star. Call in 813-444-9588. Going into the break, we're gonna play The War and Treaty, Hey Pretty Moon. Check it out on all streaming platforms.
lost it. I'm like,
Hey, pretty moon, so bright and fair. How do you hang in the air up there? Looks like you hang free from all care. Yeah. Silver circle, lighting round in the dark. Look at the peace you found. Looks like you hang. Looks like you hang free from all care. All free. Yeah. How do you shine while the darkest hour burns under your luminous eye?
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Yeah, we back, we back. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. I have Nadia, our guest here, celebrity chef, and we were just wrapping up after the break and talking about compensation and being fulfilled. And once again, we're on In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star. Call in 813-444-9588. So Nadia, you were mentioning how, you was in your 1,000 square foot loft with all the accoutrements, living that big life, and all of a sudden you called your auntie, who was a minister, and you were bawling out crying.
mm-hmm,
Wow. So
mm-hmm.
so continue on.
And her response to me was, "Baby, you're unfulfilled because you've been driving the car." And I was like, "Well, who's supposed to be driving the car?" And she was like, "God should be driving the car." So she was like, "The reason that you've ascertained the success is because you are controlling." And she was like, that's a beautiful thing. But in terms of the fulfillment you're looking for, you need to ask him for guidance. That's what you're seeking. And so
Mm,
I did. I got on my knees and prayed.
wow, wow.
And
So,
within a week's
it,
time,
and it's
with
interesting because, I want to kind of tap into another segment that we have, which is our power segment,
okay,
because, you described something that's very profound in that you talked about your aunt saying that, you know what, you took control and you were driving, but at the end of the day, the guidance had to come from him. And
correct.
so, in terms of that, can you share with us, where does your power come from, and how do you manage it so that you are fulfilled?
Well, it does. It comes from the Most High. It really does. From that day forward, and trust me, I was a believer before, but you grow in faith. Hopefully, that's what we do every day. We should grow in who we are, and in order to understand who I was created to be, I had to go to my Creator, and that began the journey in relationship to Him. And so that's where and thus by Him revealing to me all of those beautiful gifts that He puts inside of each and every one of us, if we dare to step out on faith and actually work towards them, manifesting them from the internal to the external.
So, with that being said, so how did you develop your culinary skills? I mean, you didn't go to, did you go
Culinary
to,
school. I did not. I did not.
Okay. So you didn't
So,
go to cooking school.
no.
You was in corporate.
Yes.
You all of a sudden you make the switch, you tap into God, and bam. You
Well, no,
are
not really. Not at all.
okay. Well,
So,
then break it down to us.
yeah, yeah. So initially, I opened up a cafe. I opened up a cafe with Derek Corley in Brooklyn and hired a chef who I trained on my recipes. That chef within 6 days did not work out. And so he was quickly removed. In that, we woke up on I want to say Sunday morning when we went to the restaurant. We had a line of 30 people, Joel,
Mm.
waiting for brunch and no chef. So I had to get behind the scenes and start cooking, but I failed. I failed miserably. It was definitely not that simple. So I
Oh,
felt
so it wasn't a fairy tale. It wasn't a fairy tale ending, huh? So 30 people waiting, and you start cooking, and you
I
fail. Wow.
probably fed 4 people within a 2 hour time frame. That's how badly I failed. And this is coming from a woman who wasn't used to failing, so it was really bad. I had a whole breakdown on Derek's shoulder later that evening. It's in the middle of the restaurant. I was like, this was horrible. And as he's kind of trying to soothe me, and he's like, I'm like, no, but it was the best thing in my life that ever happened. And he was like, what? Why? I said, because now I know what I need to do to be better. I just have to strengthen. I should have cracked 30 eggs first. I should have prepared. I should have got my line together. So, trial and error, I learned within my own space. So that way I made the mistake small.
Mm, that's key. That's key. What is that? Expand on that. What does that mean to make mistakes small? I
Hmm.
like that term.
Well, it was a small cafe. We probably seated about 20 people at most. And I am a quick study. So thankfully, I said, okay, preparation is key. And it was a neighborhood cafe. So and it was beautiful. Like I decored it out. I wanted it to feel like Soho in Brooklyn. And
Hmm.
we're in Bed-Stuy, right? The cusp of Clinton Hill and Bed-Stuy. So they weren't used to that atmosphere. And what was beautiful about it is they were so supportive as a community because, we're Black. And it was really nice to get that sense of community, and the cops would come and bless me, and people loved the food. They loved the taste of the food. It was about me being able to get it out quickly and efficiently.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, as a woman in this industry, you know, how did you navigate and not feel intimidated, es- especially with you just kind of organically developing that skill set?
My first two big caterings right around that time was Maxim Magazine and Universal Motown. And the I think it was Universal Motown initially, it was supposed to be gratis. But by the end of it, they were so pleased with my work, they paid me. And I was like, oh, I got this. Like
Wow.
I trained myself I love boxing. So I trained myself. I'm like, all right, so this is like a street fighter. And I'm trying to train to get up there into the big time. I'm trying to beat Tyson.
Right.
Yeah.
So at Universal Motown, was that when Kadar was there, or
Was he there? Yes.
that was yeah, he's good for stroking that check if he likes it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We need to give him a shout out. Kadar Massenberg, big shout out, doing the right thing by my girl Nadia.
Yeah.
So, your talent is pretty undeniable, right? So, what do you think, or what do your celebrity friends say that makes your food so addictive? Like I said, it's like the West Indian parade happening in your mouth going on. Like, what?
Listen, brother, do not limit me to West Indian. As much as I love my
Oh,
Jamaican roots and the Trini, okay?
yes,
as a
yes, yes,
restaurant
yes.
as a restaurant consultant, I have had to consult men who were Irish that wanted a gastropub, a British kind of gastropub feel, to Italian, to French. I have been all over the radar when it comes to New York City cuisine and restaurants. But
Hmm.
I do put a little bit of my Caribbean flair in everything. This is
Of
true.
course, of course. I mean, that's why you have Nadia's Spice Kitchen, right? So what is it? What are they saying that makes it so addictive? Your food so addictive? What are people saying? Like, what's that superpower?
It's
What's that
the
superpower ingredient you put in that food, girl?
So the superpower is the gift, right? Remember we talked. So we I tapped into God. God reveals the gifts that He puts into all of us, and so the superpower is the gift. But that gift was nurtured by people like my grandmother, who again was an amazing cook. She also cooked for Mayor Koch while he was here embracing
Mm-hmm.
heaven. And my mom, it was nurtured by all of my best friends' parents and some of the lovers that I had who were amazing cooks themselves. I mean, I'm a foodie by nature. So
Mm.
it has been nurtured throughout a lifetime, to be honest. And a little bit of everything that I've learned everywhere, along with my own, is put into the food.
Wow,
And so the superpower is also West Indian. It is a lot of herbs and spices.
mm-hmm. We need that.
Yeah,
We
we do.
definitely need that.
It's healing.
So have you come across people who are intimidated by how good you are? Because you are a force of nature when you do your thing.
That's such a tough question to answer humbly. No?
I mean, well, I'm asking the question.
I love it. So, I mean, yes, absolutely. And that's been unfortunate because personally, I love championing others. So when you don't receive the same, it can be quite difficult. And I don't purport to know what is in someone else's mind, but I do know that when you have a gift, it causes people to covet that which you have, sometimes
Mm,
at the cost of their own success.
absolutely. So, with that being said, how do you handle that conflict, or how do you handle those type of environments? Because I know you had to experience it, whether it's some form of been invited to a festival, or there's other people, showcasing their stuff, and
We're all running a race. I keep my eye on my race. Do you understand? So
hmm
that means you always win by default. While other people are staring at you and what you're doing because of whatever fears they have, just keeping my eye on my own race and running it the best that I can. I always win that way.
excellent, excellent. I love the fact that you talked about winning and focusing on your own race, because that can be applied to any occupation. It's not
Correct.
just, in what you do, which is your specialty and gift, but it's also inherent in just a life principle, right? So, with that being said, and close us out for the next break, speaking of life principle, what life principle power that you can share, um, that is amazing, that glows within you while you are performing your gift?
That would take incorporate a few words, but I would say tenacity, integrity, grit, consistency, foresight, vision.
Mm, I like the tenacity, the vision, and just really kind of putting everything together.
Yeah, it'll
That's
bless
like
you.
that's like a recipe right there, right?
Yes, it is. It can be. I like that. Certainly.
Just kind of, just chefing it up and putting it all together, because these are all specific ingredients that does their own thing, just like in cooking. But when you mix it all together, it produces eventually your own personal success.
Success.
So with
Correct.
that being said, once again, this is Power Moves. We're gonna get ready to go on break again. And the song following this one is called The Cabinet by my man Eric Sermon, off the Vernia album, being streamed on all platforms. Once again, this is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. on In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. Call in 813-444-9588.
She want that old thing back. Pretty young thing, want that OG
Oh.
crack. Straight savage when I got my Fenty on. Do the do say when it touch the deli on. She got a man and he stuck in the feds. Said he gon' kill me cause she up in my bed. We wear chains that are psyched to knocks. Only G7s when the flights depart. Stash pesos and Turks and Caicos. Dapper dead on the first to break those. Now back to Caicos. Throw your rollies in the sky, my guys will take those. Lower east side, I'm up in NY. See me on the floor with Obi courtside. Baddies on deck, you know I'm loving them. Still in the meeting with Callie. Another one.
Waiting on that sunshine, boy, I think I need that back. Can't do it like that. No one else gon' get it like that. So why argue? You, yeah.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals
Wow.
and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Madam CJ, and I want you to listen to Trap Talk Radio at 8 p.m. every Thursday right here on In Touch News, www.intouchnews.com.
All right, we back. This is Power Moves with celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. We back here with Nadia Day, the chef extraordinaire with the yum goods. So we were just kind of wrapping up on our power segment where we were discussing, the recipes of success. Part of it is tenacity and having some vision and some other things and just kind of, mixing it up. So now we're going to go into the respect aspect of, at the end of the day, Nadia,
Yes.
how do you define respect in your industry and how you deal with others?
Integrity, meeting people where they're at and being able to communicate with them at that level, and sometimes in some spaces having to coach them up just as well as I have to be willing to be able to coach up in those places that are weak, right? Mm-hmm. And so respect is humility to me, and having a sense of being confident in what you know and understanding what you don't know. We should always be students, no matter. Go on.
Oh, I love what you said, because coaching up. Can you define what coaching up means?
Being able to navigate someone's talent or their psyche and meeting them exactly where they're at, but then fueling them with knowledge in a manner in which they can understand. Mm-hmm. So that they can then take those jewels or those gems wherever they're going, if that makes any sense. A leader, to me, we go by this term boss all of the time. I hate the term boss, right? Because a leader leads by example, and as he or she is leading by example, she's making other leaders. Mm-hmm. Not to necessarily emulate that person specifically, but for that person to be able to eat from their tree, the fruit, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. and then take their natural gifts and talents and take it with them and flourish wherever to whatever capacity they're meant to.
Oh, I love that. So can you explain that in your world in terms of, having a team and a chef? Because there's, sometimes people forget that a chef is not cooking all by themselves, right?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Without
So
a chef is nothing without their team, right? And to me, that's the signature of a great chef is a strong team. If once you get your team to the place that they can replicate these recipes and the plating, indistinct of that chef being in the kitchen or not, you know that you have reached greatness. And you know that you've taught your team your love of food. So that way I've seen so many of my team members go on and marry what they've learned in one of my kitchens or in someone else's kitchen with how they see their plates and their food going out. And nothing makes me more proud.
and that's the reason why I want to bring that to the attention, because in discussing respect, and when you mention coaching up, that is a great signal of someone that's truly a leader, because they don't mind being coached up, like your sous chef kind of saying, hey, you may want to just do X, Y, and Z, and you're open-minded to say, hey, let's try it. So I
It's a team
love.
effort. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what brings the plate to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, excellent. And so could you also share with us times where, things broke down and, you had to make some changes, or, it was a totally disrespectful situation and it was like,
Oh, yeah, right. Well, listen, in life, offenses are going to come, right? Offenses
hmm
come to each person's door. The best way I can answer that is that you have to have a sense of self. You have to know yourself. So when someone tries to pull you out of what you know, you can stand on integrity. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me, but you're talking in nice little generic, fluffy Oprah terms, uh,
Oh, yeah.
right? So yeah, yeah, of course. That's what I do here at Power Moves. We got to get to the nitty gritty because people
Okay.
taking notes, right?
Okay.
So as an example,
Give me an
give us
example.
a scenario. You don't have to mention names, but
Mhm.
a tough situation, someone is freaking out, whatever it is, and you stand in integrity, because that was your code word,
Mhm.
staying in integrity,
Mhm.
and you had to handle your business. Like, break it down.
Hmm. I would say in one of my more recent experiences, there are times that people call you in to stop a ship from sinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you set up that foundation, right? You set up that foundation so that it is running like a well-oiled machine, and you structure the team in place that were non-existent prior to my being there.
Mm-hmm.
So so that it not only now functions, but it grows. Sometimes we deal with personality archetypes that forget all of the effort that went into it, and for some reason believe that one man is an island.
Mm.
You understand? And
Mm-hmm.
in this kind of position, especially in this industry, a male dominated industry that can lend to ego and arrogance, I tend to step aside. Every time I've stepped aside, this would be the third, that sink, that ship burns. It sinks and burns, if possible, in water. So
Mm.
we reap what we sow.
So I guess the lesson to be learned here, what I like is, this is what I'm hearing. So help me out if I'm off base, but
Sure.
it's important to know who you are and what you bring to the table, so that you can, if something is not congruent with you, you can just walk away. And it's not that you're intentionally saying, you know what, I want this to sink, I want it to fail. You just know that you're taking your magic with you, and whatever happens, that's on them.
Correct.
Is that what I'm hearing?
That is absolutely spot on. Here's the thing. Every project I've taken on, I want them to win. That's why I've contributed to the trajectory of that project. I see the value of it and I see the beauty of it and the need for the customer base. But
Mm-hmm.
what I do note is, again, we reap what we sow. So it's you'll be hard pressed to win when arrogance comes into play consistently. After a while, people will be able to see the truth of what's standing behind said company.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I love what you talk about in regards to ego, because ego does not serve anybody well. That's literally putting a whole bunch of salt in a meal.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? Like
It
you can
is.
have a little bit of salt because you need a little bit of
You need a
flavor,
little. Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
and so there's a thin line between confidence and then, like you said, arrogance, where you put a whole bunch of salt and the high blood pressure, and it's a wrap for you,
Correct.
right?
Yes. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate when the the concept is genius to see that happening. You know, when you have respect for the concept, when you have respect for what the brand can be, it makes it's very disheartening.
Absolutely. So share with us then, how did you move on from all those disruptive type of forces that just kind of come your way, but you still have to maintain yourself, your peace, and then move on to something else? Because most a lot of people in all types of industries usually swallow that and just deal with it and deal with it over and over again, and until they just explode and something disruptive happens. So how did you know to walk away peacefully to maintain that respect?
Well, because the work always speaks, I've learned like the work always speaks for itself, right? And so to blow a gasket, so to speak, that doesn't serve this brand that I may have respect for, nor myself. It's best to remain in peace in the midst of a storm. It's the only way that you can see clearly,
Mm,
especially when the person that you're facing is not in peace, right? I definitely don't want to meet them where they're at in that case. And since I've learned that the work always speaks for itself, I've always been called back by those very same people in future projects. Interestingly enough, I've had before this recent one, I've had two other projects where the very same hospitality company has called me back on a bigger project and said, you know, we did something good together. You elevated what we were doing. And so it serves me to leave with integrity and peace. And it also serves those people.
that is awesome. That is awesome. So with that being said, how do you maintain, what are you doing to give us that magic glow that you got going on, that aura of peace going on? Because you know that's very powerful in of itself.
It is. So again, it's knowing what drives you. Like for me, you know, I get up early in the morning, I do my morning prayers, I go for a run, I talk to God on the run, I come home, have a wonderful breakfast, wonderful nutritional breakfast, and get my day started. And by that point, it's about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm ready for business. But I have fed and nourished myself first, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the needs of the business are, or whatever the needs of my family are, or my friends are, I'm also available to them. And that's also very
Mm.
important, is being able to, right? Like when you're in a healthy space, how selfish would it be for me not to share that and to see it flourish and grow in others, whether it be business, whether it be love, whether it be friendship, whether it be family? That's important to me. That to me is, I believe, where the glow comes from.
That's amazing. So once again, thank you for letting us know how you created your morning rituals to feed yourself. And this is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect on In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. check us out on www.intouchradio.com, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. Power Moves, Reality Radio. Next song up. This time around, the last one was Sunshine. Oops, but this time around it is Cabinet. Go ahead, DJ Anna. Well, it's coming. Chewy, chewy, chewy.
That knows how to handle your injury claim. This is attorney Clinton Paris from the law office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
When it comes to reality radio, everyone is a star.
I know that's right.
On your smooth soul and R&B station. On the World Wide Web.
Access granted.
In Touch Radio.
The president-elect has made it very clear that he would only change those sanctions if he got, quote, a better deal and we got something in return, whether it was on nuclear arms or other areas.
Democrats concede they probably won't have the votes to reject any of Trump's cabinet-level nominees. Must still be approved by the Senate.
It was all a dream. I was commander-in-chief on patrol with Method Man, Red Man, and Keith. And to show the world I wasn't having it. Here's how I would organize my cabinet. In case something happened to me today, I elect my vice president to be Dr. Dre. I chose this individual to handle my daily. Secretary of State is Jay-Z. The educational system is bombing, so I gave the education for the kids title to Lawrence. Since the terror alert is so damn intense, I chose 50 Cent, Secretary of Defense. Since he got every area.
We back. This is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. We back with Chef Nadia.
Hey.
Or just Nadia.
Yeah, I like this Nadia.
That's right. Talking about how to cook up a strong meal of respect so that no matter what you do or wherever you go, you are delivering the goods and you can take your food with you, right? So Nadia, what's going on? Like, what are you working on now? Tell us a little bit about, what's next?
Well, what's next? That's a tizzy of a question because I opened a restaurant in the East Village with a partner that it's gone a bit sour. So right now we have the restaurant space and we're just trying to figure out the logistics.
So what's interesting is for you to have open up a restaurant during this COVID. I mean,
during the pandemic, we opened in October. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Hold up. You opened up during the pandemic and now you're shutting it down, but
well, no, I'm not shutting it down. I didn't say that.
Okay, my bad. Okay. But you're transitioning, right?
Somehow, yes.
Yes. So, I mean, what was that like having a restaurant during the pandemic? Because I know several restaurant owners, and it was rough. I mean, you had folks that had, restaurants for over 40 plus years, and because of the pandemic and the shutdowns, they were down. How in the world were you doing?
Huh? Sold out every night for each seating.
Wow.
Yeah. The space is lovely. The location is also lovely, and the experience, that's the thing. That's the twist, right? The experience was unlike anything they would be able to find anywhere. So
So kind of describe, how did you, I mean, that's amazing because like you said, you opened up during the pandemic.
Got a serious pandemic deal. Okay. The pandemic deal is out of control. I just have to say, because I was closing
Please.
on this restaurant pre-pandemic, and it was like 200 plus key money, 200 plus thousand key money, and the rent was 13.7K.
Mm.
Totally forgot about the place. We were supposed to close on another place in Brooklyn that fell through. And of course, Derek would remind me, he's like, don't forget about that place you were in love with in the East Village. God's promise. I said, yeah, that's right. I called the broker, worked out terms, no key money.
Mm.
The place had a $700,000 reno.
Mm.
So understand, it was built out beautifully. So now no key money and 40% less the rent. Had the keys within a week. Couldn't turn that down.
Wow. Wow. That's so, I mean, how would you call that? Is that divine intervention?
Yes, it is. That's exactly what I call it. I mean, I've been trying to close on this restaurant for over a year, and each step of the way, it was positive. Like, we got our liquor license, and then I was approved by the board. Everything that everybody said a Black woman wouldn't be able to do, we accomplished, But then the pandemic hit, and my investor was like, I love you, but peace.
Okay.
Maybe when things normalize, but peace. So yeah, it was definitely divine intervention, because it took me partnering with, Stone Pizza to be able to bring it to life. So I do call it divine intervention.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. And now, you're transitioning and you're going to be making some other power moves then, basically, right?
Absolutely. And so right now, this is what I call my time of recuperation and regeneration, as the breakdown of the partnership just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am recuperating and regenerating, and so looking forward to coming out bigger and stronger.
And there goes the fire sirens.
Welcome to New York City.
There's the fire sirens saying, all right, we're burning the past.
But really, literally, the past is already burned up.
The burning the past.
And that's the beauty of being healthy too, is that you're able to say, you know what, I had a great ride. Like, no matter how it turned out, that was a great ride. And and it prepared me for wherever the journey is leading next. And I'm so excited.
And that's such a great attitude to have. And I'm so proud of you. And, I can't wait until things open back up again. I can make my trip up there and get me some good Nadia Spice Kitchen. And now, do you sell some of your spices?
Wait, okay, so I have to say this, right? So Nadia Spice Kitchen, the brand, I put to bed like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So that's why the website no longer exists. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was, that she's buried. She's dead.
She's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going on now? So what do we have? How do people follow you so that we can know what's next?
The best way to follow me right now is IG, and that is at Nadia Simone Day.
At Nadia Simone Day, follow her because she's gonna work on. She's cooking up something good. Just wait and see. It'll be well worth it. And thank you for coming and gracing us on the show.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
That's what it's all about. It's all about having fun. And thank you, Derek, for coordinating this, the man behind the scenes, eating up some chicken soup right now. My man. So once again, this is Power Moves. And by the way, check us out. Hey, Nadia, are you on Clubhouse?
I am not. Tell me about Clubhouse. I will download it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you are, you have to have an iOS device, so whether it's an iPad or iPhone.
Yep.
And just go on the Clubhouse, join Clubhouse app, and one of your friends is definitely on there, and jump on there. But We are on Clubhouse at Max Life, so you can follow us on Clubhouse. If you want some exclusive information, text us at 917-540-8274. And once again, this is Power Moves on In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star, and Power Moves where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. See you next week, baby, baby.